high as I can get it without getting feedback. So if you can't hear me, then you won't hear the message. But if you're in the back, actually let's do a sound check. Raise your hands for me if you can hear me. All right, Joe's got me way back there. We're good to go. Welcome to Gettysburg National Military Park. My name is Jim Fork. I had the privilege of being one of the seasonal rangers here at this battlefield. And this afternoon we're going to be talking about the fighting on Little Round Top 150 years ago today. Time-wise, we are a few hours in advance. This position is not important in the morning of July 2nd. When the plans for battle unfold, Confederate soldiers will take a position, or rather they intend to take a position that would be at the bottom of this hill to the north and move north to the attack. If General Lee's plans had gone according to plan, there would never have been a shot fired at or from this hill. All plans change, at least the small details, as soon as they begin. The highest ranking Union commander up here very early on is this gentleman right here. This is General Goover Kimball Warren. General Meade says to Warren, "Warren, I hear a little peppering going on in the direction of that hill yonder. I wish that you would ride over, and if anything serious is going on, attend to it." Perhaps 3:30 in the afternoon, maybe even closer to 4, Warren rides up here to that hill yonder. He finds, as we find today, right over here to your right, he finds the Signal Corps. The Signal Corps has placed itself here because it's a nice position where they can begin sending messages throughout the Army. There are no chatterboxes to help you guide 500 people around. This is your form of communication across the battlefield. Otherwise, you must do it by messenger, on horseback, or sometimes on foot. The soldiers in the Signal Corps point General Warren's attention to the possibility that Confederate soldiers are moving out to the left. When Warren arrives, the Union left flank is at the Devil's Den, that big rocky boulderous area, and then it stretches across your front in an angle roughly northwest until the peach orchard. And to give you a sense of directions, as you are looking past me toward that far tree line with the top of a tower, that is the Long Street Tower. That will point out for us west. To your right altogether is north. We missed the altogether part. To the right is north. To your left altogether south. And behind you? East. All right, so we have our compass points here on the battlefield. General Warren calls for an artillery gun down there on Devil's Den to fire a shot. As the shot went whistling through the air, the sound of it reached the enemy's troops and caused everyone to look in the direction of it. This motion revealed to me the glistening of gun barrels and bayonets of the enemy's line of battle, already formed and far outflanking the position of any of our troops, so that his line of advance to Little Round Top was unopposed. Warren is telling us, General Hood's Confederate Division, 7,000 soldiers strong, moving off of the Warfield Ridge out to your left, will contact the entirety of the Union line in this sector, engage it in fighting such that the Union Army cannot change position, and still have enough soldiers to move around the Union left flank, perhaps occupying Little Round Top itself. Warren has a challenge. He commands no soldiers because he is the chief of engineers. His job is to know the placement of the army, the topography, and terrain. So he hurriedly sends a note back to headquarters. This message goes to headquarters, to General Meade. Message then passed to the Corps Commander, 5th Corps, General Sykes. As the next messenger is looking for the division commander, he is interrupted by an impetuous young officer. Captain, what are your orders? The captain replied, where is General Barnes? What are your orders? Give me your orders. General Sykes told me to direct General Barnes to send one of his brigades to occupy that hill yonder, shouted the captain. This young officer responding, I will take the responsibility of taking my brigade there. Colonel Strong Vincent takes his brigade out of the line of march. Moving against the chain of command, he then rides across this front of the hill. The western face of Little Round Top is open and had been logged the previous year. The soldiers themselves will move around to the east side of the hill. They will use an old logging trail from the back side. Colonel Vincent is examining the hill to find the military crest. The military crest of the hill is the highest point from which you can see the entire approach. Soldiers are concerned not about the highest point, but first about avenues of approach and fields of fire. If you will look to your left for me, you'll see a monument about halfway down the hill sitting on a shelf. That is the 16th Michigan. This is going to be the military crest of Little Round Top. 16th Michigan will be the right flank of Vincent's brigade. Lieutenant Colonel Norvell Welch, 263 soldiers. To his left, 44th New York, Colonel James Rice, 391 soldiers. 44th New York has the distinction of being called the People's Ellsworth Regiment, after Ellsworth fell at the very beginning of the Civil War. New York will raise a regiment in his honor. To become a part of the Ellsworth People's Regiment, an individual must be male, single, 18 to 30, contribute $20 to the funds of the regiment, and only one individual will be accepted from each town or ward throughout the state. By the Battle of Gettysburg, casualties will cause a change and they must open the ranks a little bit wider. It is a unit that is special to its home state. To the left of the 44th New York is the 83rd Pennsylvania. Captain Orpheus Woodward, 295 soldiers. He says of this fight, I am on the soil of old Pennsylvania now, and if they get me down, they'll have to shoot me down. He and his soldiers know that they are fighting for the state where they grew up. This battle is on northern soil. On the left, Colonel Joshua Chamberlain, 20th Maine, 386 soldiers. So Vincent's brigade, 1,335 men. Now, as we move through the program, with your imagination, I want you to erase the rock walls that you see here on Little Round Top. Those rock walls do not exist on the afternoon of July 2nd. They will not be built until the night of July 2nd. So there are no prepared defenses. However, anybody see anything up here to hide behind? I want you to imagine it's about twice as rocky in 1863 as what you see today. If you walk inside the visitor center in the main hallway, going halfway back to the Ranger Information Desk, take a right, there's a little circular area. You can see an 1863 photograph of Little Round Top looking east directly on the hill. There's also a photograph of the town of Gettysburg looking into town from the Chambersburg Pike. So as the soldiers do not have prepared defenses, they have a great deal of rocks which will provide them natural cover. Soldier out of the 16th Michigan writes, we arrived none too soon. As we got into line, Hood's men could be seen coming up from the side of Round Top from the valley of Plum Creek, and an almost hand-to-hand combat broke out fully half an hour. The soldiers are engaged almost as soon as they arrive. No time to prepare any defenses. On the attack, we're going to have 5 different Confederate regiments out of 2 brigades. when the attack begins, Hood's division is moving across the fields in front of us. They're going to be stalled by the United States sharpshooters. The sharpshooters will take up a position, fire a few shots, causing deaths, wounds. Confederates come into range, sharpshooters will drop back, take up a new position. The sharpshooters do not drop back on a perpendicular line. That is to say, instead of coming straight toward us, they move slightly off to the east. Now, if you're a Confederate soldier, you're moving forward and the sharpshooters are firing at you, what are you going to want to do?
Chase them.
Fire back. Are you going to keep to your original course? You're going to begin following those who are firing at you, looking for the opportunity to respond. This is going to cause the attack to move off course. 2 regiments on the far right must be swung around behind to cover the gap. In addition to this, General Hood falls. General Law, the brigade commander who might have superintended this fight, becomes the acting division commander. So we get 5 regiments who are going to be operating without a brigade commander, starting on the Confederate left, closest to the 16th Michigan. 5th Texas, Colonel R.M. Powell, 409 soldiers. 4th Texas, Colonel J.C.G. Key, 415 soldiers. 4th Alabama, Lieutenant Colonel L.H. Scruggs, 346 men. 47th Alabama, Lieutenant Michael J. Bulger, 347 men. 15th Alabama, Colonel William C. Oates, 499 soldiers, for a total of 2,016 attacking Confederate soldiers. Numerically, the Confederate soldier will have a 3-to-2 advantage. As we mentioned earlier, the Union soldier will have the defensive advantage of the hill. The assault begins, Union right, Confederate left. That is closest to us. The 4th Alabama, 5th and 4th Texas are engaged against the 16th Michigan, 44th New York, and 83rd Pennsylvania. John Stevens out of the 5th Texas writes, as we start up the mountain, we got a plunging volley from the enemy, who are posted behind the rocks on the crest. They are no more than 25 to 30 steps away and well protected behind the rocks, while we are exposed to their fire. The balls are whizzing so thick around us that it looks like a man could hold out his hat and catch it full of lead. Zach Lundgren, 4th Texas. It was one of the severest battles that has been fought during this war. We had to fight the Yankees on a mountain where it was very steep and rocks as large as a meeting house. The Yankees poured a deadly fire into us from behind the rocks until we drove them away. Soldiers out of the 16th Michigan believe that they have heard an order to withdraw. Fully 1/3 of the unit moves away from that ledge, the military crest, and begins moving back toward the top of the hill, where you see that second monument from us that looks like a castle. In a zone, in an area of emergency, Colonel Vincent rushes into the area, leaps on the top of one of these rocks, does all he can to get the attention of the soldiers and send them back down to the fight. He is mortally wounded. It is at this point the Union Army is very fortunate. Mistaken communication will assist rather than harm their effort. General Warren, for some reason, did not know, did not see Vincent bring his brigade onto Little Round Top. So he goes looking for more assistance. He's going to find his old brigade, now commanded by Stephen Weed. He tries to get General Weed to help him out, but Weed will not take his brigade here. He needs to follow the chain of command, but he will offer to give to General Warren 1 regiment, the 140th New York. Commander of the 140th New York, Patrick Henry O'Rourke. Graduated in the last class of West Point, June of 1861, last class prior to the Civil War. He graduates number 1 in his class. As he is bringing his men across this face of Little Round Top, he finds Battery D, 5th U.S. Artillery, has reached this point. They're going to place guns up here at the crest of the hill. If you take a look back behind you as we pass by them, those cannon tubes weigh 800 pounds. The entire carriage weighs anywhere from 3/4 to a full ton. That's the size of a small car. How do you think they get those guns up there?
Push them.
They're trying to get the horses to drag them up. 6 guns. 2 teams of horses manage to pull their guns up the hill. The other 4 must be pushed by hand by the artillerists. They get those guns to the top. Warren informs Captain Hazlitt there is no place for efficient artillery fire. Hazlitt responds, never mind that, the sound of my guns will be encouraging to our troops and disheartening to others. And my battery is of no use if the hill is lost. Keep in mind what he says about having an effect encouraging to our troops. Soldiers of the 140th New York, as they move across this hill, will move through Hazlitt's battery. At the head of the column, Colonel Patrick Henry O'Rourke draws his saber, points to the position where the 4th and 5th Texas are about to take the position of the 16th Michigan, and he cries out, "Down this way, boys! Here they are, men! Commence firing!" At the head of his column, he is shot through the neck, killed on the spot. The 140th New York surges past their fallen commander down to the position of the 16th Michigan, and they successfully check the advance. Zach Lundgren, 4th Texas, writing, "We drove them away up to the top of the mountain where they had breastwork and 3 lines of battle from which we were unable to drive them. We fell back about 100 or 2 yards and lay until their retreat." As we mentioned earlier, Union Army has no opportunity to prepare defenses. There's 1 line of soldiers, not 3 coming. Yet they had the effect that Lundgren thinks there are more than there actually were. This stalls the Confederate attack against the left portion of Vincent's brigade. The Confederate regimental commanders are examining the ground. They are currently attacking the highest terrain, so they begin to shift the brunt of their assault towards the Confederate right. They're trying to see if they can move around the Union left. We're going to go ahead and move to the Union left, to the left of Vincent's brigade. Now, a couple of things before we go. We're going to move back up